Hello and welcome back to the Light Bearer. I believe this is part 4 on our little talks here about gaining spirituality and some tangible things that you can do in the present here and now to build on the light within. Remember, the struggle's always within, even when trouble seems to manifest itself outside of ourselves. It still most likely lies right here within ourselves. I want to go over kind of some of the materials and some of the consequences from doing these things and the actions of doing these things. I highly recommend that any religious text that you can get your hands on, you read it back to cover. Read them all and believe in them all, because every one of them has bits of truth. Even the Satanic Bible has bits of truth. And a lot of people are going to go crazy when they hear that. But just because you read a dark grimoire does not make you evil. Matter of fact, I highly recommend the more light you are, the more light you carry, the further you travel towards the light, you should really study the grimoires. Know your enemy. Know what they're doing. Know what they're planning. Know what they're going to do. But I highly recommend before you read those grimoires to read of the light first. The Jews, the Muslims, the Christians, Native Americans, the Buddhist, Tibetan, Shaolin. There are many, many different factions that have achieved enlightenment. Okay? No one's wrong, no one's right. They all have bits of truth and bits of bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's true. But with minimal amount of practice, you can have far-reaching consequences. There are beings and entities out here waiting for us to achieve the next level of enlightenment as a whole, as a race. This is a time and era where we need to lift each other up to the light and help each other. The time for strife amongst tribes is over. The tribes need to unite. We all need to unite. Even the lost tribes of Israel need to unite. We need all to unite under one single banner of peace, compassion, and understanding. This war thing is way overdue for being disassembled. The war machine. It's getting us nowhere. It's destroying the planet. And for what? I mean, the examples are endless. It'd go on forever. That's a whole other video in itself. But we're talking about resources and consequences of praying to the light. Okay? I have promised to show my library. I have quite a library of books. Okay? Everything from magic to Indian to you name it. Like, nothing's good, nothing's bad. I mean, I even started studying the Kabbalah. Okay? And just because you see that inverted star does not mean what you think it means. That's a whole other story of why that's there. Okay? Whole other story. I am not a black magician, though. I promise you, I am not. Excuse me, it's in the morning. A black magician would not share with you what I am sharing. They want you to stay weak so you can be easily manipulated. Not what I'm about. I want you to be on equal footing. I want you to look at the day every day with a smile on your face and thank the light that is here. May our consciousness and auras rise like the sun does every day. I have already gone out and said my prayers for today. I highly recommend Native American anything. There's a lot of wisdom and knowledge there that is very important, especially if you have problems being connected to the earth. Being connected to the earth is very important for this work. You must establish a connection. You must spend a lot of time in the woods or on some trails or just with nature in general. Start doing that if you haven't, okay? You'll start seeing things and feeling things that you didn't know were there, most likely. There's a lot of great and wonderful mysteries lying out there waiting for you to find them. This whole disappearance of people in state parks and things, I almost wonder if that's just not a ploy to keep people out of the woods because they don't want you being connected to nature, so you gain this ability and knowledge of prayer, because this is really what you're going to want to pray to: the earth, okay, to nature, because that's our mother. We have forgotten the earth is our mother. And we're treating her very badly right now. The earth has got a cold, as the natives would say. Native Americans. The earth has a cold. And it really does. And we have given it to it. Now, we can be the medicine or we can be the poison. And depending on which one we choose to be is how we're going to be dealt with. I would rather be the cure. I've had enough turmoil in my life. And it's not to say that I've had a perfect, enlightened life. You don't need to have one. I spent 20 years of my life as a down and out sinner. Matter of fact, I don't think I could be where I am without seeing the amount of darkness that I have. This is not a joke. This has consequences, and you cannot go back. I cannot state that enough. Once you do this, you cannot go back to your evil ways without horrendous consequences. Horrendous. I'm talking if you are an addict and you do a bit of drugs afterwards, bad things are going to happen. Period. Like, this is not a joke. But it is worth it. It is so well worth it. I'm going to attach a video. So technically, the next video I'm going to put up is basically proof of what I'm doing is real and it works. Okay? Every day when I pray, that's what happens. You're going to see the video right after this. Watch it and you'll see what I mean. Okay? We're not alone. We're not. There's people rooting for us. Remember, we are not alone. We are and we're not. We have to get there on our own, but there's someone waiting for us. Okay? You just got to meet them halfway. That's probably the best way I can say it. But start getting your hands on those religious texts. Start reading those little tidbits of knowledge from anywhere and everywhere. You never know where you're going to gain wisdom. You can gain wisdom from a street person. Okay, wisdom doesn't just come from rich people or from money or from smart. It comes from everywhere, especially spiritual wisdom. Okay, start reading a lot. Start getting out there in nature. Okay, start taking walks. You have to temper your body, mind, body, and spirit here. Remember, people, mind, body, spirit, the true Holy Trinity. I walk at least a mile a day, 1.5 miles a day, usually 3 miles, and I run. Okay. It thins the veil, and there's something about it that just attunes you to this work, to spirituality, and becoming one with yourself. Usually I'm out in nature while I'm running. It's a good way to incorporate your time in nature, is that when you're doing your exercising, to be one with nature. Take walks in the woods. Start reading those texts. Mainly be open to new ideas, to new learning. Never stop learning. The minute you stop learning and think you know everything is the minute you are truly a stupid man or woman. Because the learning never stops. Never, ever stops. I don't care who you are. But be kind to each other. Get out in them woods. Experience nature. Start reading those texts. Because there's some magic and glory and wonderful light out there waiting for you to find it. And there's a whole family waiting to meet us. This is the Light Bearer. Have a great day. And be sure to check out that video.